Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we are here for our daily live show. We are back. Oh, it's nice to be back after a good little 3-day break, a little hiatus after a little technical difficulty on YouTube's end. I gave up trying to figure it out for a couple days, but we're here, we're pumping, we're rolling, we're back. Again, though, we will be switching platforms here soon. I'm still trying to figure all that out with just how I want to use it and all that good stuff. So make sure you guys are smashing the shit out of that like button and definitely sharing the show, all that good stuff. We truly appreciate it. What's up, Miss P? What's up, Mike Miller? What's up, Craig Werlow? Yeah, I saw that he got released. After 13 NFL seasons, Justin Tucker has been released by the Baltimore Ravens. And those are due to the allegations of misconduct toward women. So, hey, you mess around, sometimes you get burnt, and Justin Tucker seems to be getting burnt. You often wonder what was going on with him over this last little stretch of time, and that's your answer, guys. As a kicker, you have to have a clear head. You can't be out there thinking of other things. You can't be out there, just being distracted by anything. Kicking is one of those jobs in the NFL that you have to be absolute laser focus, dead eye, man, laser focus. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, have any sort of distraction. And Justin Tucker was distracted because he knew what was coming down the pipe. He knew what was going to be happening, and it was definitely affecting his game. And yes, that's why the Baltimore Ravens released him. And some are saying, "Oh, they're lying. It's not because of football." Yeah, it was because of football. He sucked last year. He has a Hall of Fame type career. The guy's money, dude. But you know what? Last year he freaking sucked. There was no nice way of putting it. He fucking blew. He cost them games. Not just one, games. He cost them games. And you can't have your kicker as a liability out there, costing you not a game here or there, on a fluke. Costing you games that matter. And if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you cannot have that going on, man. Not when you don't have a quarterback that can win, in the big moments. You can't win like that. You can't be that guy that costs your team games. And that's what the Ravens had going on for them last year. So Justin Tucker out as the Baltimore Ravens kicker. You saw the signs, the writing on the wall with all this last year. And you saw it inside of the NFL draft when they were drafting a kicker. They meant business. You knew it was time. And that's just it. But today's topic for the Steelers here in the channel is, could Will Howard be that best quarterback that comes out of the 2025 NFL draft? I think he got a really damn good shot. And I think it's because of a bigger reason than a lot of people just want to overlook. Everybody wants to just look at athletic prowess. He has that. He's athletic. He can run. They'll consider him a dual threat. He can throw the football pretty damn good. But the biggest intangible that's absolutely overlooked, and that is, this dude is smart as hell. And I don't want no dummy at the quarterback position. I'm sorry, guys. I have no time as a coach for a moron at the quarterback position, because you can't win in the biggest moments when you got a guy that you're basic and plain and vanilla, and all you do is lean on their athletic ability. Quarterback is a position that, yes, athleticism is needed, arm strength needed, all those good things, being big, strong, that's all needed. But you got to have a guy in the big moments that's going to be able to understand the offense in a complex way. And that's why I think Will Howard will be able to succeed if he gets the opportunity. If he gets the opportunity, the same opportunities maybe some others might get. I think that he can succeed, and I think that is the biggest reason why. The guy is ultra smart. At the NFL level, guys, there's several things, and we're going to break that down as to what you need to do as an offensive unit and what you need to do as a quarterback, and again, as an offense as a whole inside of the passing game. You have to be able to be very versatile and do several different things, and you can't be plain Jane vanilla. And we're going to talk about that and talk about that pretty in depth. What's up, Za? Craig Werlow says, do you think Steelers will sign any more free agents? I do. I think depth will always be a key thing for the Steelers. They'll sign as many people as they can possibly drum up, man. They're going to fill out that training camp roster. Definitely. So, yeah, I do think free agents will still sign with the Steelers. It's just when, where, how, who. And that question will remain until, they sign them. During this time frame, man, unless it's a big name, I kind of just go with it. And when we start to talk training camp, that's when we'll start to really dive in and look at the positional battles, at the people that they've picked up. But yes, the answer is yes, Greg. What's up? Don't know how to pronounce your name, guys. Sorry. Some of you guys, I do not know how to pronounce your name, and I do not. Silva, I can see that part. Domingos. But the next one down, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Dime Drawer. Steelers did sign free agent Lou Skunt to help on the offensive line. Yeah, they're going to make a ton of those types of moves, man. Definitely. Tons of those types of moves, guys. Depth piece moves. Craig Warlow, do you think Tomlin will give him a chance, especially if Rodgers does sign? No, I don't. How I believe Will Howard finds the football field is through the tragedy of others. Sadly, that's how that probably works for him to find the field in 2025 is through the misfortune of other quarterbacks, i.e., if Aaron Rodgers signs, Mason Rudolph, that's how Will would find the field. That's how he would have to get his moment. And I know that sounds bad, and I know that sounds harsh. And again, I'm not wishing it to happen. I'm not wanting it to happen, but that's how he sees the field. That's how he sees it, unless he goes up to training camp and lights shit on fire. And is that a possibility? Yes, but you're a leg down with Mike Tomlin as a rookie. You are, and I don't blame him for not wanting to put rookies in right away. Is every situation correct when he doesn't want to play a rookie? No, but a lot of rookies do need to learn. A lot of rookies do need to figure out the NFL speed. So sitting sometimes is a good thing. And I'm not saying that it's not, and I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin's wrong in every situation there. But I also believe that repetition is the best way to learn, is the best way to get used to the speed, get used to being an NFL player. Miss Pittsburgh waving that terrible towel. Wave that terrible towel, people. Appreciate you. Daniel Warman, what's up? I predict Will Howard will be the starter after 3 games. I don't, because here's my thing, Daniel. If they do sign Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard, I'll say 99% will not probably see the field in 2025 in the regular season. So if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, I think that there is a definite probability. I think that there's probably a 40% chance then, because injuries happen, injuries can happen to anybody for a week or two where, even if there is no catastrophic injury, definitely Mason could get nicked up and miss a game or two and need a spot start. So definitely you could see Will Howard in that situation. But if Aaron Rodgers is signed to the roster, you don't see Will Howard in 2025. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing could really be affecting several things, guys. The 2026 draft, maybe the Steelers see Will in practice and say to themselves, yes, we got our guy, but we're going to let him learn. And then they don't draft somebody in 2026, and then it doesn't work out with Will. So you're walking a fine line. So if you're the Steelers, maybe perhaps if you don't sign Aaron Rodgers, you want to see what you have in Will Howard, and you get him out there as soon as possible, because the 2026 draft, you might be able to go out there and swing yet again at somebody to potentially come in and take the job left by Ben Roethlisberger. The vacancy left by Ben Roethlisberger has never been filled. And the closest thing you've seen to the body size and the play style of Ben Roethlisberger in these younger days would be Will Howard now. Will Howard, big, strong, can shrug off tacklers, can manipulate the pocket, can throw off platform, can do all of those things, and you haven't had anybody that's been big, strong, throw off platform since Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. And I'm not saying Will Howard is Ben Roethlisberger. No, I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying this, it's the first guy that's fit the body type So there's the first check mark. Sorry, guys, I have a cold. We'll try to drink a lot of water here. Rubber Road says, I think it's Rudolph's job now. It's going to be looking like Christmas out here. 1 to 3 feet of snow starting late tonight. Wildfire season can wait a while. Hell, man, 1 to 3 feet. Guys, Robert, I don't know how you live there, man. I think it's beautiful, probably when it isn't snowing, but I can't do snow 9 months, 10 months a year. Especially 1 to 3 feet at a time. I'd lose my mind, bro. I could not deal with it. It's probably gorgeous. I guarantee it's gorgeous. But I could not. So God bless you, my friend. And it is Mason's job to lose right now. But here's the thing, guys. Mason could lose it. And I love Mason. I think Mason could do really, really well in this offense with the weapons that they have right now. I really, really do. But we'll see how it goes. Craig, do you think Warren will be starter in game one? Jalen Warren? Guys, I think maybe. But I think Caleb Johnson's that guy. I think the Steelers drafted him to be that guy. They drafted him within the third round, or within round 3. So, a guy that they probably never thought would be there. But I think he is a guy that could really move the chains and keep things going. So maybe Jalen Warren stays in the role that Jalen Warren's been accustomed to being in when Najee Harris was in Pittsburgh. Maybe Jalen Warren stays in, that third down type role, that change of pace type back. Maybe that's what he does best, and maybe that's what the Steelers think that he does best, and maybe they'll continue to do that. We're just going to have to kind of see how training camp shakes out, see how things are divvied up maybe a little bit in the preseason. But probably I believe it's going to be Caleb Johnson with Warren being the guy. But I still believe that it's going to be running back by committee with Caleb Johnson, with Jalen Warren, with Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell can play really, really well. He's another guy that shouldn't be overlooked. Robert Parks says Ravens suck all the way. Thank you, Robert. What's up, Big B? I see Steelers Almighty Will absolutely has a chance to start this year. I think the plan is to get through the season and see what we have, then go to the draft. Yeah, I could see that too, Big B. Definitely, man. Definitely could see that being the case. No doubt about it. That's the thing that worries you a little bit about Will. When they drafted Will, well, not worries you, but maybe it puts him in a good place, maybe, to where if he does get an opportunity, maybe they can say this, see what he got. And if not, we're swinging again, Maybe it's a good situation, guys. Maybe it honestly is. And again, Will Howard is the closest thing to checking those boxes that fans grew to love with, Big Ben, with the big body type. The guy that can come in there and throw off platform, manipulate the pocket, a guy that can make those backyard type plays. And, fans love that. I think the offensive guys love that. But again, guys, things have to be definitely different than what they've been. It can't be a one read type offense. That can't be the way it is. At the NFL level, everything's got to be, choices. Everything's got to be choices. You hear choice routes, things like that, whatever. But to put it simply in football speak, at the NFL level, everything has to be choices. You have to be constantly audibling and adapting and moving things around like chess pieces. And that's the biggest thing for Will Howard. And I think he's ultra smart. And I want to be able to see now, can he do that at the NFL level? When people are moving around, when they're coming out showing cover 3, all of a sudden they switch back up to cover 2. They're just moving around. They're switching things around, and you have to be able to recognize those things and have good enough vision and have a steady enough mind frame to where you're not panicking, you're not getting crazy. Your offensive coordinator trusts you and your ability, and I think that's another thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers have lacked at the quarterback position for a while, even with Russ. And I don't know if it was Russ or, the Steelers, but the Steelers didn't have faith in that. You have to be able to have a lot of faith in your quarterback. You have to be able to adjust. You have to allow your quarterback to adjust. Your quarterback at the NFL level, when they break out of that huddle or whatever they're doing, that original play call, if they're calling plays from the line of scrimmage, whatever, that original play call has to have 3, 4, 5 different options off of that original play call in order for you to make it successful. That's how you get the favorable matchups, guys. That's how you get the man-to-man on the routes that you want man-to-man. That's how you get the zone on the routes that you want the zone coverages. To be real simple about it, we could go in depth and talk about the real nuts and bolts of it, but again, that's how you find exactly the coverages that you're looking for. You don't wait for them to magically happen for you. You, as a quarterback, you're not waiting and saying, "Shit, man, man, I need cover one on this, or I need cover two coverage on this play, man. I need it. I have to have it for it to work. I hope they're in cover two." No. You manipulate the defense into covering the way that you want them to in order for your stuff to be successful by moving your chess pieces around and forcing the defense into things they don't want to do, or guessing and trying to be on top of what you're doing, but yet changing their play styles up or changing their play calls up, and that's giving you those favorable matchups, and that's what you're looking for. You hear people all the time talking about, oh, the mismatch. Exactly. That's what you're looking for all the time. The mismatch. You want, Calvin Austin on a linebacker. You want Pat Fryermuth on a linebacker. You want those guys to be in those favorable matchups against those guys that they could succeed against the most. That's what you're looking for. And again, I think Will Howard can do that. And why I say that he can do that is I think he has the ability to play with controlled energy. He has a big motor, a guy that is what you want as a leader, a guy that's vocal, a guy that has energy, a guy that's thinking, a guy that's moving people around and just being involved, being immersed into the system. That's what you think about when you're just looking at Will Howard from face value, a guy that can do those things. And again, he can control that energy. And I think that that's big. And how do I know that he can do that? He did it in the highest levels of college football, collegiate football. He did it all through the playoffs. He did it in the championship game. He did it again against the biggest opponents. And that's something special. Everybody can't do that, guys. Everybody isn't okay with the lights. Everybody isn't okay with the lights at the quarterback position. Hey, it's one thing going out there and running around and being out there and flying around and catching the football or getting the ball handed to you and running it, or making that block. That's different. There's a different level of comfortable you have to have there. But, man, when you get into that quarterback spot, everything goes through you. The football is facilitated through you to everybody else. And as a quarterback, your main task is to get the ball to the playmakers. And that could be nerve-wracking, guys, because there's a lot of variables that come into play to do that. So, again, sorry I got off on that tangent a little bit, but we were just talking about that with Will Howard there. So let me get a drink, guys. Again, I got a deep cold. It's like down in the chest, baby. Hope it don't, you can probably hear it when I'm like laughing, but hopefully it don't go too much further here. So we'll just have to stay hydrated. Robert Rhodes says, I think Warren will be announced as a starter, but Johnson will be the workhorse that gets the much bigger workload. Probably, man. That's what I'm thinking too. We'll see. Craig says, I just hope it doesn't take as long as it did between Bradshaw and Ben to find our quarterback to take us to a championship. Guys, you just got to be proactive in it. And again, the Steelers kind of have. They've tossed a lot of new faces in there. They've taken a little bit of swings, but just look at what the Chiefs did. We'll just use them as an example because they were ultra effective. You had Alex Highsmith, a guy that was a Pro Bowler, playing at a all-pro type level, a guy that was doing well, winning games, getting you into the playoffs. But they knew they weren't going to win a Super Bowl with Alex Smith. They knew that. So what did they do? Even though they were successful, they weren't satisfied. They weren't sitting by waiting. They went out there and they drafted Patrick Mahomes. They were taking swings while they already had a guy in place. And that's what I'm hoping Mason Rudolph gives you this year, that you're able to continue to take swings while you still have a guy in place. And I know the Aaron Rodgers thing, but he isn't a Steeler right now. So he's not really coming into my vision here right now because he's not a Steeler. So we're just going to leave him out of the equation. And I think Mason Rudolph can provide you that. Perhaps Will Howard can provide you that franchise guy you've been waiting for. I don't know. There's tons of things out there and tons of paths that this could go. Tons of different ways, guys. And that is what is very important with the Steelers right now. And, I think a lot of players do want to be on this Pittsburgh Steelers roster right now. Why? Because they're not far away. They're really not, guys. They're really, honestly, if you look at this roster from top to bottom, you look at what they've done over the last couple years, it's not as exciting as you wanted offensively, but they've been able to hang in. They've been able to win games. They've been able to make the playoffs. Yes, they haven't had any playoff success, and that, I think, it's troublesome. I think that falls in shoulders on Mike a lot. Mike Tomlin got to shoulder that blame. He's that guy. But I do think that the Steelers are a legit franchise guy away from just getting on a roll and being absolutely dominant, guys. The Steelers, if all of a sudden they start to get good quarterback play, it's not far-fetched to say the Steelers are Super Bowl contenders then. Right now, no, they're not. And I'm not going to act like they are. Because at the most important position in all of sports, they have question marks. They don't have all the answers. Not the answers that they would like to hear just yet. They have a lot of what ifs, a lot of maybes, a lot of, well, if that happens, then we'll be all right. And that's not good enough just yet. You got to see how those what ifs pan out. How do those what ifs start to progress? Does Mason Rudolph come in and light it up? Because the potential's there for him to do that, guys. Mason Rudolph can get on a roll. We've seen it. Maybe Mason Rudolph, after all these years, when he was just actually getting comfortable at quarterback and then went and departed to Tennessee, played with a crappy team, but cured a lot of things. The happy feet in the pocket. He started getting through his progressions, and he wasn't doing that prior. Maybe he now comes in and has a new sense of comfortability that maybe he's never had, that gives him that extra gear that allows him to do something really, really special, because we know he can make the throws. We know that he can run offenses at the NFL level, at a high level. So we'll see. Maybe that is a spark that you need. You never know. But we'll see how all that transpires. And again, guys, this is all dependent on so many different things. What's up, Ryan? We've been lost since the last 2-3 years of Big Ben's career. I don't think the Steelers were lost, but you were dealing with a guy that had a destroyed elbow, Ryan. And I agree with the no plan part, because I don't think they had a plan. I think they should have been really taking swings, whether Ben liked it or not. If you weren't comfortable with Mason Rudolph, start swinging and drafting guys and bringing people in, preparing for that next phase of Steelers football. And, Craig brings up that gap between Bradshaw and Ben. That was a painful gap. It had moments, though, to where the Steelers were ultra competitive. The Neil O'Donnell days, playing, in big games, playing in a Super Bowl. You had the Tommy Maddox, the Cordell Stewart days of making it to AFC championship games and losing. Then you transitioned into the Ben Roethlisberger years. You had guys like Mike Tomczak, Bubby Brister. You had a lot of these guys. But you weren't that Terry Bradshaw definitive leader, the guy that ran the offense, the quarterback won, but Terry also had his highs and lows also, guys. I know that was a different time, but Terry Henry, That was almost Terry's job gone with Terry. And he was a hell of a quarterback. Terry Henry wasn't bad. So there's a lot of pages to be written in the stories. Still with Mason Rudolph, there's a lot of pages, a lot of chapters that haven't been written in that book yet. And there is no chapters written yet for young Will Howard. And we're all here for that front row seat to see it start to be written, to see this story start to take shape. And again, we'll see how that all goes. But there's going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be highs and lows, man. But hopefully there's more highs than lows. And we'll see how this story goes. What's up, another Wombat? Will Howard needs to sit and bake in the oven unless it's an emergency. And Mike might look at it like that. Again, guys, Mike Tomlin has his faults. But I do not fault him for sitting a rookie all the time. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it is needed. Because, guys, again, let me get a drink. Again, guys, sometimes it's needed because these guys sometimes just don't know what the hell they're doing. And you have to give them time to understand what the hell they're doing. Again, I want smart football players. You are a major liability at the NFL level if you don't know what you're doing because everybody out there is freaking good, dude. Everybody is highly athletic. Everybody is in the top 1% of people that play football in the world, in the National Football League. That 1.2% of football players that make it to the league. Yeah, everybody's good. So at the NFL level, you can't afford to have stupid football players out there that have no clue what's going on. You look at Roman Wilson last year, guys, as a prime example. I've told you, I've talked to several people, and again, the injuries were a concern. The injuries were a concern, no doubt. But there were times Roman Wilson could have been out there, but he wasn't. And that was because of his lack of knowledge of the playbook, his lack of understanding of the NFL level playbook that he was involved with. That's just point blank, period, the reality of it. Now, I think there was some other extenuating circumstances that were surrounding that may have slowed down some of that growth. I know everybody was excited initially when he was starting to make some plays and things of that nature up at Latrobe. Everybody was starting to get excited. But that it was at the very infancy of team development in terms of plays and things that they have to do. And when you're starting now to incorporate in all the checks and all the audibles and all the changes that you have to be able to do at the NFL level, all the different pieces of the route tree that you have to be able to run at the NFL level, I think he fell way behind, and the injuries caused that to even fall farther behind. And I think some things outside of the building started to make that fall farther and farther behind. But let's just hope young Roman Wilson figures that out this year and doesn't get that label of being a dummy, doesn't get that label of being somebody that's a bonehead. We'll see. I hope not. I have high hopes for him. But man, that's another thing that is definitely a big factor. And that's why I say at the most important position, I want a guy that is so smart, man. I want a guy that can read everything, that can do it all. I want a guy, yes, that's big, athletic, strong. I want that. You need that. But I got to have that intelligence too. I got to have that smarts, man. I need to know that when I give you a play, you're going to check out of it, if need be. You're going to come up to the line of scrimmage and you're going to understand that you're going to check out of this certain route combination into something different. I need to know that you understand what type of fronts defensively your offensive line is the most efficient at running at. And I hope you're able to recognize those defensive fronts and understand even if sometimes we're in a 3rd and 8 situation. And I know some people hate this shit, but we're in a 3rd and 8 situation. But, not only am I looking to see if I have the right coverages back there to be successful against the play that I'm calling, but perhaps I see that the defense is back. I see that the defense is in that big zone. I see that the defensive front is in a very favorable position for my offensive line in order, with the personnel that I have out there, in order for me to run the football. And I think that you have to be able to recognize those things too. It's not all about the pass game. You have to be able to recognize whether or not you're going to be able to run the football too. And sometimes running the football on 3rd and 8 works. It's just what, guys? Why does it work, though, sometimes? It's not, oh, the offensive coordinator's a genius. No. Usually when that shit works is the quarterback's super smart because they're up there checking in and out of plays. They're out there with the confidence of the offensive coordinator that called in one play that gives them 5, 6, 7 different options that they are able to check in and out of to get their offense into the right situation. Absolutely, people. Let's listen to Miss Pittsburgh here. Let's go, people. Let's hit the shit out of the like button and subscribe and share the best show in the nation. It's right here. Let's go. Thank you, Miss P. Appreciate that. Again, guys, double tapping that screen, hitting that like button is absolutely imperative to do so. That helps the channel. I know, take a day or so to get back into the algorithm here and get the show going again after taking a couple days off, but it is what it is. But hitting the like button is free. Hitting that share button is absolutely free. Also, guys, I did monetize this video today, so you may see ads. I told you that while our likes were down and we weren't hitting that 100 like mark on the show, I had to throw those ads back in there. So when we get those likes back up, we'll take the ads back out. Steel 43, what's up? Curtis Knight, what's up? Rams suck, he says. Robert Parks, Ravens suck, Steelers rule. That's from Robert Parks. Rye, I still think Aaron will be a starter beginning of the season. What y'all think? I mean, I believe he will be, but you know what? He isn't on this football team yet. So, you know. What's up, Roberta Campbell? Yeah, everybody's welcome. Daniel Warman, if Cincinnati starts out with 3 wins in a row, the division is over. Their defense is going to surprise a lot of teams. My prediction is 13-4. I don't know, man. I don't think they've done enough, Daniel, in the offseason to vastly change that defense. I think schematically they're okay. I just think that they didn't have the proper personnel to effectively execute it. And I think that there's still some turmoil inside of that defense in terms of players that want money and things. You know, I don't intimately know the Cincinnati Bengals as much as you probably do, Daniel. You follow them, so you probably know a lot more than me. But again, it's very well possible when you have Joe Burrow and you have the big name wide receivers. You know, I get that. It's definitely possible to win a bunch of games. But on the other part is, too, you can't play shootouts every single week and expect to come out winning a football game. It's just too big of a gamble. It's too big of a crapshoot. When you're playing those shootouts, any type of mistake, any type of just little thing that could change the way that game goes could cost you a game. And if you're not lucky sometimes, you know, that screws you. Excuse me, guys. I'm very sorry about the cough. You guys can argue in the chat back and forth about Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to keep moving. Rod, does Steelers draft quarterback in 2026 or will Will Howard be the future? That's the thing, right? I don't know. Nobody knows yet because you haven't, again, seen any part of the story written for Will Howard. Nobody knows exactly how that book's going to be starting to pan out, how that's going to read. So, again, maybe it is who of the Steelers to see what they have in Will Howard earlier rather than later, considering they didn't tamper with what they have in terms of draft capital for the 2026 season. And potentially, if they do really poorly, maybe they move on from some players to where they even increase that draft capital even more. You know, I'm just saying, you never know. Before the trade deadline, you never know what could happen. But again, no one's going to know just yet. But I think Will Howard has the intangibles, has the intelligence, has everything that I think that you need to succeed. I think he has those things, but he also has some deficiencies too. And those things could potentially hold him back. But one deficiency that he might have is he might not ever get the opportunity. And a lot of guys come into the NFL and they don't ever get the opportunity. And that's the big thing too. When you're an NFL player, the opportunities are limited on your chances to actually get to prove that you belong inside of an NFL helmet, that you can compete out there on an NFL field. And if you waste any of those opportunities or you don't seize the moment when the moment happens for you, you could have all the talent in the world and we may never see it. Because why? You didn't seize the moment. You didn't take advantage. So there's a lot of things, right, that's going to depend on this. And again, in 2026, it wouldn't hurt to take another swing at it, even if you have high confidence in Will Howard. I don't think it would hurt. But if Mason Rudolph and Will Howard show you that they could be a trusted quarterback room, maybe you just continue to build this roster and stay cheap in there and go for it. I don't know. Again, guys, I don't have a crystal ball, nor does anybody else. And everybody else can give you a lot of, they know this is going to happen, this is that. I can't give you that because I don't see the future, nor can anybody else. So we have to see how some of these things start to play out. We have our guesses, and I'll give you those, but no one knows exactly how this is all going to go. Not long till the NFL schedule comes out, so we know where we play these teams. Absolutely. Mike Miller, let's go. Will Howard beat the Cleveland Browns. I wanted his new jersey for the Steelers. Will Howard. Yeah, his jersey did come out, guys. I can't get the article to load. Does anybody know what number he got? Roberta says, I think Will could end up being the quarterback if Rodgers is here. That is going to delay that. Rodgers is just a bigger issue than solution. Honestly, guys, Rodgers coming here or not, we don't know. He's not a Steeler right now. So, again, just going to have to wait and see. Joe Montana from Mon City, I blew it. I played for McKeesport in Mon City and blew it. Sorry. What's up, Armand? M. Sparks, what's up? Mark Malone, what's up? If he wins the job, he'll play. One thing's for sure, he'll be prepared. Yeah, one thing's for sure about Will Howard. He'll know the offense. Mark Malone, y'all may have already talked about it, but did you hear about Howard bugging the quarterback coach for the plays the day after the draft? No, I didn't hear it, Mark. I did not hear it, man. I did not hear that, but that's a good thing. He shouldn't have to bug Arthur Smith for plays. Arthur Smith, the minute that guy was drafted at quarterback, a playbook should have been going to that kid's hands as soon as he arrived at the facility. As soon as you get drafted, you're headed to the facility, at least that's how those top picks are, I know. And I'm sure the other guys are too. You're coming in the building, you're getting to know people, you're getting introduced, you're coming in to orient. It's like any other job. You got to orient, man. You got to figure out things. So definitely that playbook should have been in his hand day one, second one of him entering that building. He should have access to every tool in order to make him successful because why? It not only helps Will Howard, it helps the damn Steelers. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Daniel. Justin Tucker is released after 13 NFL seasons. And again, that was playing in his head last year. He absolutely is dog shit. He cost the Ravens games, man. Abigail, what is your... Oh, my God. Why do people put dumb comments in, dude? I appreciate the view. Most of the time, though, this is a dumb comment. What is your favorite NFL team? Come on, dude. We're talking nuts and bolts of football here, man. This show ain't that. Don't ask me for name a team for an edit. Don't ask me what my favorite NFL team is. Don't ask me for a top 5 list. This ain't a kiddie show. This is big boy football here. We're talking nuts and bolts about football. We're talking real shit about football, not that type of shit. If you want that type of shit, go find it somewhere that's what they do. They talk about which player are we going to do an edit on today? Go find that somewhere. Go ask those questions to somebody else that wants to hear them. I want to talk about football. Give me a football question. Let's talk football. Let's talk schematics. Let's talk about the players and how they fit into the defense and offensive systems this year. Let's talk about how the special teams may be able to come together to do some good things this year. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Let's talk about those things. Let's talk about how this roster is constructed from top to bottom and how that's going to fit. Those are the things that we want to talk about here at Mike Drop Sports. Robert Road, I saw that. Oh, he's talking to Mark. Extra Black. How so many had so much hope and faith in Kenny Pickett, but have less hope in someone who actually won a championship in college. I don't know how that is, Extra Black, because I have high faith in Will. I think he has those things, guys. Again, he can throw from a strong platform. The ball can come out up and out real quick. That is something that can happen. But again, he can throw off platform. He can do the improvisation. He can shrug would-be tacklers off. He is big. He is smart. He has all the tools. And it doesn't matter that he was drafted in round 6. That doesn't matter to me at all. The Steelers got lucky there. It's a similar thing to when they drafted Caleb Johnson, in my opinion. I never mentioned Caleb Johnson go to the Steelers in round 3 because I didn't think it was a possibility. I thought that Caleb Johnson would go around the same area as Travion Henderson, around the Quinshon Junkins. I thought he would be gone early day 2. I thought that for sure. But Caleb Johnson was still there. And I think maybe what held him back, the more I think about it, is what's the most important thing in the NFL right now, and that's the passing game, guys. Passing game. Everybody loves it. That's what they talk about. And I think maybe that shied them away, because Caleb didn't get all those balls in the air. He didn't get a ton of opportunities as a pass catcher. So, again, he had 2 touchdowns through the air. He did catch some footballs. He did, some things, and I think he can still do those things in the pass game. But he didn't get a ton of those opportunities, and the Steelers just seen, what kind of runner he was. Also, they were interested highly in Iowa players. They got Y.A. Black. They got Caleb Johnson, They were really heavily recruiting the Iowa Hawkeyes. So, they were definitely out there and really involved. So, we'll see. But again, Will Howard falling could have been from a variety of things. One person that's a so-called expert, we put all our faith in. And again, I give guys props. If you made it to the NFL, you're a beast and you do know something. You're really good at football, But I'm not going to take your word for it when you say somebody's going to be a bust or somebody sucks when you sucked and you were a bust. Some of those guys that are analysts, that are former NFL quarterbacks, and I'm not going to mention their names or nothing, but they weren't starters. They weren't guys that ever played at the ultimate level, but yet you have the nerve to call somebody else a bust. I don't know. I mean, I value your opinion. I think it's awesome. I think you're great. And I think you definitely know more than I. But damn, man, sometimes they're just, I don't know, a little bit off. But we'll see what happens, man. I hope nothing but the best for all these rookies because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want to, I don't know. I'm the type of guy that I want to see all these young men succeed. Failure sucks for them. And I know a lot of them will fail. I know, 7 out of 10 of these guys won't be in the league next year. And then, 2 out of those 3 guys that are remaining won't be in the league the following year. Very few of these guys will complete a first contract into a second in the NFL. And that's just the way it is, guys. There's a steady influx of new talent coming in from the collegiate level. And that's the numbers. Those are the numbers that don't lie. And it's very hard to have longevity inside of the NFL. It's very difficult. And again, if you make it even to a practice squad or even in the conversation, you're a hell of a football player. You're in the top couple percent of the country at playing football. And that's awesome. That's awesome. So we'll see, but I can't even forget what I was even talking about. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, Rob Lightfoot? Who do you think was the most impressive player from our undrafted Undrafted free agents. You mean UDFAs? UFD. Okay. Yeah, that's what you meant. While wide receiver Rock Taylor and safety Sebastian Castro are getting plenty of buzz, I'm convinced linebacker Debo Williams is the real deal. Rob, it's Rock Taylor for me, man. You can watch Rock, and that speaks for itself. I said that. When was I asked? When I was over on Steelers Almighty and we were doing that draft wrap up, I think the day after everything had settled down, I think it was on that Sunday, we were over there talking, and we just brought those guys up briefly at the end. And I hadn't had really the ability to get through those guys yet. I hadn't really studied those guys just yet, but it was Rock Taylor for me then. It's Rock Taylor for me now. And I think Debo Williams has the potential to be really good, no doubt. Castro has the potential to be good, but it's Rock Taylor, guys. Rock Taylor, if some of the things that, caused him to probably fall out of the draft aren't happening, you might be looking at a guy that gets drafted somewhere decent. So we'll see. Yeah, no one knows, Mark, and that's the thing. Mark Malone says, yeah, who knows how these quarterbacks will look? And that's the thing, man. Nobody knows. And until you start to see some of these mini camps and things of that nature, you're not even going to get any type of feel for what's going on with them. But I got to caution you this, and I caution you this every year that we've been talking football here at Mike Drop Sports. And I want to make sure of this too, guys, before I say this. I want you guys to double tap that screen, bump, as fast as you can. That will hit that like button for you Apple users. Also, if you have an Android, there's 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen. You can hit it that way. Or you know how to hit the like button on your device, most of you. So hit that like button. It's absolutely free. It helps your creators. Super chats are always welcome. Memberships are always open. It's always a little bit of a slow day here when we take a couple days off from live streaming. So we're getting back into the groove here. But again, we've had tons of new subscribers lately, so make sure let's continue to do that, and that wouldn't be possible without you guys and your help. So again, hitting that like button's free, so hit that up for me. I apologize that this is a video with ads in it today, but we got to get those likes back up to that 100 range, and I'll take the ads back out. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, who knows how these quarterbacks will look? Yeah, nobody knows, man. And that's the thing. But I got to caution you of one thing. Football in shorts and a helmet is not football, guys. Please do not misconstrue it. And I don't want to hear about DBs getting cooked and shit because you can't even play physical without pads on and shit. Guys, the coaches would be pissed if you fucking throw somebody to the ground. You know what I mean? Or come up there and hammer somebody without pads on. They're going to be pissed. You got to put it into perspective of what they're doing. Football in shorts with no pads on and just a helmet is not football, and you have to take it for what it is. When you see all these highlights, so-called highlights and things coming out, and you're going to hear people that do podcasts talking about how great this person looked in shorts, how great this person... Guys, I heard so much last year how great DeMarvin Leal was going to be last year. Oh, my goodness. It was just... That was during shorts. I need to see when helmets... pads, everything. I want to see contact football. That's when I can tell you people are going to be great or working to be great for the season, that have it really going, seem to be having a head of steam, seem to really be able to understand what's going on, understanding the complexities of the system and the schematics. So also, when I get up to training camp and I'm sitting up on the hill and I have that bird's eye view and I can see what's going on from not just I'm on the sideline and I can see a particular player I'm watching. No, I got that bird's eye view. Yes, sometimes being in the media, not being in the media pays off. When you could get that bird's eye view and you could see everything. You could see, it's like watching an all 22. while you're watching these things. You get to see all of the little different nuances of what's going on. You can see all the little different battles. Sometimes that's where you want to be. So sometimes that pays off. Not all the time, but sometimes. So until I get to see those things, I can't tell you how things are going to go, or at least give you my thoughts on how they're going to go. It's all just speculation right now. What's up, Steve Winters? Hello, Jason. I hope all is well. All I can say is let's go. Howard, let's go. I think he's going to be great. Hey, Steve, if you got any good rental properties down there at Myrtle Beach that you may know personally, people that you know personally that rent their houses for vacation, can you send some information over my way if you know anybody by chance? I wanted to ask you that the last time I seen you and I forgot. In the chat. If you do, email me, MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. Email me, Steve, if you have any information, because I know you're a local and you may have some insight and some information into maybe some houses that other people can't really necessarily get to see. They're not advertised. Some people have that knowledge. So if you do, my friend, pass it on to me. I'd really appreciate it. Rob Lightfoot, what's the latest word on the Steelers' plans for their swing tackle position? No one knows yet either, man. The depth chart's going to have to really play itself out. The battles are going to have to play itself out. You're going to have to see if anybody else is picked up, off the streets here and how those guys come to play and what they're going to be able to do and who's going to be performers, man. Swing tackle position, definitely, I think they could have added some depth during the draft. I do. I think they could have did that. That was my only knock on them for this draft period because I think, again, offensive line, defensive front is two things that I think that has to have your ultra focus all the time, no matter the draft, no matter any situation. Those guys have to be in the forefront. Those guys have to mean something in your building. Those position groupings have to mean the most, so you have that long-term success. So we'll see. I don't think that there's anybody definitive right now. It's just you're going to have to see how the battles play out. And it's too early in this thing to sit here and say that this person's going to be your swing tackle. This person's going to be this. Yeah, we know who's going to be in the lead dog positions to start the season, barring any type of injuries. We know the Broderick Joneses, the Isaac Seumolus, the Zach Frazier's, Mason McCormick maybe, the Troy Fatanus if he's healthy. Those guys. We know those handful of guys got that lead dog spot. But again, when it comes to the trenches, guys can come out of nowhere, man. I.e. a Ramon Foster, an undrafted rookie free agent coming in, starting many years for the Pittsburgh Steelers and playing at a significantly high level. You never know until those camp battles start to happen, man, when the pads start cracking down there with the big boys. When the big boys start to light it up and the big boys start to beat people around and they start to crack pads and you start to hear that. That's when you know football's back, and that's when you're going to start to get some of those answers that Rob's asking for. Who's the swing tackle going to be? Who's this? Who's that? That's when you're going to get those answers. Until those pads start cracking, no one really knows. No one knows because, again, the Steelers do probably lack a little bit of depth there, and they could have helped themselves out a little bit by maybe addressing that at some point during the draft. Daniel Warman, the Steelers play the Bengals on Thanksgiving Day. They also play one game overseas. Yeah, they play in Ireland, and I don't know. I didn't know they played on Thanksgiving Day against the Bengals. I didn't know that was already out. Thank you, though, for the info, my friend Daniel. Keith Richard, Browns is not my favorite. I don't care who your favorite team is, Keith. I hate to be a dick to you. I'm not even trying to be. But, dude, those are the type of comments that I was talking about earlier. Edits, favorite teams, top fives. We're talking football, baby. It's football. It's football season. Get your flags out, baby. Get your flags out. I like Hamilton, Tiger Cats. Adam Vinnick. Con wants to keep Pickkins. How are they going to satisfy him in training camp up until the season? Adam, I did a show on this a couple days ago. The Steelers can pay George Pickkins. The ball is in George Pickens' court. The salary cap is $279.2 million, going up roughly around $20 to $25 million per season right now on its current trajectory. They can pay Pickens. They have no elaborate quarterback salary to pay. They have nobody to pay. They can pay Pickens if they want to. The people that say, oh, they can't, they're just Steeler fans of old, and they're not used to the franchise having the funds or the ability to be able to pay two top-flight wide receivers and still maintain their salary cap. They haven't been used to that, and that's okay. Things are changing, and that's why I think the Bengals might have been innovators in that category a little bit by being able to take on two big salaries at the wide receiver position. So, again, the ball is in George Pickens. It's in his court. Is he going to be mature? Is he going to be able to control his attitude? Is he going to be smart enough to understand that playing in an excellent wide receiver room only increases his value, only makes him look better, only creates and generates more revenue for George? If he can understand that and not get too big-headed, not get too full of himself, not allow his ego to outweigh his intelligence, if he can understand those things, he'll understand that the Steelers can pay him, that staying with Pittsburgh, playing with DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, might be really, really beneficial. And maybe he'll understand that having good, serviceable to good quarterback play in Pittsburgh, not paying that big quarterback salary, may put a lot more money in his pocket too. Maybe he'll understand all those things. And guys, I get so tired of this too. Oh, you got to keep them happy. If you are not an adult enough to keep yourself happy and come to your job work, and keep your damn mouth shut and do your job, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you keep players happy in the instance of you give them a good working environment. Yes, you make sure that they're taken care of medically. You make sure that they're taken care of mentally. You make sure they're paid well. You do all of those things. Yes, I understand that. The Steelers have to hold up their side of the bargain too. But man, these players, tell them to walk if they don't want to get on board, man. That's really what it is. Extra Black says Harmon 99. Oh, these are the numbers. Thank you, man. I appreciate this. Harmon's number 99 for this year. Howard 18, Johnson 20. That's a cool number, man. Number 20, Dwight Stone back in the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the last time I remember number 20, and he was a wide receiver. He kind of do-it-all type guy, man. Jack Sawyer's going to be number 33, the old Merrill Hodge. I believe Isaac Redmond wore that number, 33. So, yeah, 33. And Y.A. Black will be number 78 in your program, ladies and gentlemen. But number one in your heart. He's rapidly becoming one of my favorites of this draft class. Mark Malone, yeah, I never thought we'd get him in the third. Me either, man. Dude, he's fine in the past. I hope so, man. I think he will be too. Rob Extra Black says Robert Woods, number 16, Rock Taylor, 81. Woods will stay the same, but Rocks could change, though, Extra Black, whenever they go into the season, too. You know how some of these guys that are brought in on, undrafted free agent rookies, sometimes they're a certain number in preseason, and then when the regular season comes in and cuts are all done, and everybody's, the roster's back down to the 53 man. Sometimes their numbers change. So definitely Robert Woods will be 16. I thank you for that, Extra Black. I do appreciate you throwing those in there. Thank you. They basically already play in shorts. Yeah, some of their pants, dude. They do, yeah. But they're not allowed to hit, man. That's the thing. There is no aggression, Irwin. There is no physicality. And that's definitely something that can't be replicated. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, sharing the show, doing all that good stuff. It was a good day. Thanks, Big Dave. I see you, man. Thank you. If I didn't get to your chat today, I appreciate it, but we're going to shut it down. It was our first day back, so we got to get back into the algorithm. But we had a good, steady amount of viewers, so that was good for taking a couple days off, man. YouTube punishes you if you do that, and I know that. Sometimes, though, when there's tech issues and things of that nature, you got to do what you got to do. So we'll see. Oh man, I'm waiting on a return email, man. I am waiting on a return email that could change the trajectory of this channel in such a big way, man. I want to say it, and I haven't wanted to say it. I haven't actually told anybody, not even anybody even around me. I made this email. This is the first time I'm even speaking. It's to hopefully get a chance to sit down and interview somebody. Man, I got what I did was I got an email for an agent that represents somebody that plays for the Steelers. So I did get one return email, so I'm waiting on one back. But man, dude, just pray for me. Let's hope. Chances are it won't happen, but man, pray for me, man. I've been praying. Let's see. Maybe we get a cool interview here, dude. What's up, Big JD? All good, brother. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Jamal? What's up, Doug P? Just going through and shouting some people out. Thank you, guys. Sorry if I didn't get to read your comment, but great first show back here to kick off the week. We'll be back again tomorrow. Make sure to, after the show and when it uploads, if you want to make any comments about, the title of the show, the main topic of discussion, throw those in there. Hit the like button. Do all that stuff if you didn't get a chance. If you didn't get to watch it when it was live or you're just joining us now, it'll upload. You could catch the replay. So, again, thanks, guys, man. It's definitely an awesome day, awesome show, awesome comments. So until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports.